everybody. Welcome back to my channel. For those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium, and I have a special guest for you guys today, Wendy Allenby. Did I say it right, Wendy?
Perfect.
I'm going to do a
Hey,
little
guys.
intro. I'm going to do a little intro for Wendy. As you can see, she's very classy lady. You'll see, you'll see. I wanted to bring you guys a special treat because I get a lot of questions on angels, and I know a lot of people are into angel cards and things like this. And Wendy is much more the expert on this. I read with her for about 3 years, I think, at Mystic Journey, going on 3 years. And she is extremely, how do I say, like the true sense of empathic, where she can just know exactly what's going on. I'll tell you my story about what I experienced with her in a reading, which was pretty trippy, but I want her to get going and talking. And she's going to talk to us today, really just chill, like me and her, like we used to talk about angels and about angel cards. So, Wendy, thanks for coming on my channel. Thank you so much.
I love you, and you know that. We've known each other for years. And I do want to say, in your honor, sparkly glitter eyes.
Yes.
Because as soon as I met this gorgeous lady, I was like, who is she? And what is that eyeshadow she's wearing? Every time I saw her, her eyes were stunning. I mean, and it really prompted me to get going with the more glitter eyeshadow, which I love.
Let me tell you, Wendy doesn't need any help in the fashion arena, because I look like a trucker at a truck stop compared to her, the way she dresses. She dresses beautiful. She has great taste. She's very high fashion. And so I take that as a compliment. And I wore the sparkles for her because I haven't worn them in a long time. And I was like, she knows me with sparkles, and we are talking like angels and stuff. So I was like,
yeah,
I'll bring
ethereal.
Ethereal, yes. Exactly. Ethereal. So I'm going to interview her, and she's not used to getting like this kind of attention. She's very humble, as you'll see. And I'm going to put a lot of attention on her. So Wendy, I told her to bring a special mug because she knows how everyone here knows I love mugs. And she has her Pisces mug. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Maybe she's a Pisces.
Maybe.
A little bit. All right, Wendy. So my first question to you are, what are angels to you? I just caught her while she's drinking her drink. But what are angels to you? Because it's such a broad subject.
Yeah.
And I know people have all kinds of ideas, and there's all kinds of explanations, and some of them get really crazy complicated, and some of them get a little out there. And what I love about Wendy is that she is very ethereal, but she's very grounded. And that's kind of hard to be both. I mean, it is really hard to be both. And she's one of those people. So I want to hear from you. What are they to you?
So I actually would like to say, pertaining to that comment about my being grounded, is that when I lived in the DC area many years ago, I had a beautiful woman who said to me, you are so up there with the...
Yes.
As far as the angelic realm, as far as being between worlds, you must ground yourself daily, because you came here to learn specific lessons. And if you aren't grounded on this earth plane, you're not going to learn the lessons, and you'll have to come back and do repeat performances. And I was like, got it. No, thank you. I'm grounding. So that's what prompted me to really work on grounding myself on this earth's plane.
Yeah, it is. That's a really good point, because I just did a video on grounding.
And,
yes. And I'm one of those people that had to work on it too. And I was told a lot the same thing, and be conscious of it. The only split that me and Wendy have is she knows I'm not a big reincarnation person, but because I I'm not coming back anywhere. And 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 I don't believe it is, so I'm good. But guys, and have fun. But but I definitely, absolutely, 100%. Like it is something you have to be conscious about for sure. And I just did a whole video on it because I noticed during this time people definitely kind of want to just. It's easy to just not want to be grounded. Okay, so with that, so yeah, go ahead and tell us, what are angels to you? What do they mean to you? Mm-hmm.
So angels, for myself, they really are unconditional love. They're non-denominational, they're non-judgmental, they are of spirit, and they're messengers from divine, the universe, God, whatever you like to call that presence. And they work to assist us in our lives. In order to work with the angels, we simply need to ask for their help. And that's it. There's no magic way. You don't have to be especially gifted. You simply need to be open-minded and ask. And that's it.
And what's your view of like what, because there's a lot of artwork and things that kind of display what angelic beings look like.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they, like, I know for me, just I feel like it's an energy, I just see it as an energy. Do you feel that way, or maybe you've had some experiences otherwise? I mean, I'm curious, and I'm sure everyone else is.
Yeah, I love that question, babe. So basically, I agree. I absolutely do feel they are an energetic presence. For myself, for the many years of seeing clients professionally, I definitely can see them come through in orb form and also specific colors, because for myself personally, that's how I can identify with them. I do believe basically in being an open-minded skeptic. So everyone can really feel their presence in their own way. So it's very personal, I feel, to the individual. I don't like to put things in boxes or, intuitively or psychically. You can only do things a one set way, because everybody is at a different vibrational state. Everyone feels things differently. So it's individual to the person. Now, I have also, there was one particular instance where I'd gone through a particularly traumatic experience, and I was awoken during the night, and it was an angel clearly coming through in angelic form. So how humans have depicted them for eons, I did see an angel come through to me in that way and inform me everything was going to be okay. So obviously exceptionally comforting. Truly that presence of unconditional love. They did come through, as I say, with the angel wings, looking like an angelic presence, in order for myself to feel comforted. So it's fascinating. Really be open to what comes through to you. So, for example, I recall one time it was Christmas, and there was a spirit guide that came through to me. For example, everything in the room disappeared, and where my Christmas tree was, there was my spirit guide standing there, who spoke to me telepathically, and I knew it was a spirit guide. Same as when I feel angelic presence, intuitively, I know it's an angel. So really, I truly believe in just being open to, how do you receive information? How do you have that knowingness? Whether you see things, hear things, feel, it's a knowingness. Listen and build up trust within yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question to you is that it's interesting you bring those things up, because I know that I teach a lot on here, and I believe spirit guides is like a collective whole, and it's like an energy, but it is different feeling. And I think that's a really good point, because an angelic feeling is like huge. It's like you said, there's no kind of, it's like nothing is expected. There's just like, this is my job, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm putting out. And it's way bigger than that collective whole of guides, where they're kind of more, it's a little dimmer, not like it's less, but it's just not a master feeling. Like it's not that big. Do you feel that way?
Agreed.
Okay. I just, that's cool. Okay. Now I wanted to like touch, because it is important. You just mentioned, you know, how long you've been reading for so long, and you've been working with these energies for so long. So it is important for you to kind of tell everybody like what you do and what your readings are about, and how do you work, and how do you work with angels? And then we'll get into some other things that I know people are really interested in, which is angel cards. But you can get into a little more detail in a minute. But just let us know, you know, how do you go about things?
Like, so
and about you.
Thank you, love. So basically, I was absolutely born empathic, and that is it's a whole different feeling when one is completely empathic, because things in the world, you feel absolutely everything. So you're not immune to every vibration and everything that's going on the planet. So consequently, with this world being of polarities, as I believe, the darkest of the dark, you feel. You can't just watch a movie and, oh, it's a movie. You can't just watch the news and, oh, I'm just watching the news. Every single thing impacts you. Now, there were certain things that, for one, I just adored. Basically tuning into my own intuition. I could see and feel angels from ever since I can remember, basically. I was assisted with my intuition, and I recall with my brother, we used to play the memory game and have an entire deck of playing cards that you shuffle around on the floor, and you'd have to memorize, okay, which card is paired with another card. And in England, we call it pairs. And if I started the game, he wouldn't get to play, because intuitively I would put my hand over each card and I'd psychically know the entire deck, and that was it. So he didn't get to play.
Wow. I see you do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's one interesting thing with that, because I could do it so readily, all of a sudden, for myself, I simultaneously have a very analytical brain. And once I started analyzing how it worked,
it doesn't work.
Bam.
This is like, you gave me chills, because it's when I try to tell people in a medium reading, when I'm talking to those who pass and people try to ask me a direct question, it shoots me out of it. I go, well, now that you're asking me a question, my mind's trying to figure out the answer. But if it just comes to me, I'll nail it. You know, like someone was like, oh, can they tell me our favorite song? Well, now I'm like trying to figure out the favorite song, and the mind screws it all up and fails pretty terribly. But later in the reading, I just started talking about something, and they're like, oh my God, that's our favorite song. And that is just so cool that you say that, because it's hard to explain to people that having these abilities aren't just like the movies where you're just like, no, like, I know what's up. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Let's just do, like, there's a delicate balance between this and this, right?
Well said. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I have a question about what you brought up about being empathic. I have to address it because it's so popular to say now, as you know, because you're a reader, and that people kind of throw it out a lot. And you've been reading for how long?
God, 20 years.
Yeah, I wanted to make that point to everybody. That was my first point. She's been reading professionally for 20 years,
professionally,
right?
but prior to that, I mean, people used to come to me as a child asking questions. So,
Yeah,
but
same.
professionally,
But
20 years.
professionally, yeah, people kind of don't care that they care that this has happened to us since a kid, but there is some kind of other element when you say professionally. And
Yes.
professionally for 20 years is a long time. It's longer than me. I've been reading 17. She's been reading for 20. So my point is that her calling herself empathic isn't a new trendy thing, and it isn't very done very lightly. And when she says she's a true empathic, I'm going to speak for Wendy and say that she reminds me, if you've seen the movie, I always forget, it's like a superhero movie. It will come to me. Why do I always forget this? But it's like this character is in a superhero movie where it like can touch someone and she knows exactly what's going on. Guardian of the Galaxy. And there's this character that reminds me of Wendy because she's like very sensitive, but she's supposed to be like a mantis or something. I don't know, like a butterfly or something. I'm not sure. I know you guys are going to correct me. You can put it in the comments below and correct me. But it's very similar where she touches someone she knows and starts talking. That's truly empathic. Like she's not just feeling for the person, she's feeling what that person is going through. And I'm going to tell my little story about Wendy to show you. So in this reading, that day when I got this reading from her, I sat down in front of her and she just like paused for a minute and then she just looked at me and she did her cards, which she's going to explain in a minute. That's my next question for her. And she just looked at me and said, I see a fly. And I just like, what? Now, you might be thinking, I'm going, what? A fly? What is a fly? I have chills, guys, because let me tell you, I was like, what did she just say? Because on the way to work, a fly landed on my window, two flies, which I think were having a good time together. I think they were mating. There was something going on because they
Good
were
for them.
they were having a good time on my window.
Enjoy.
And I just noticed it because it was so unusual. You don't just stop on the freeway and see flies that are mating on your window. It just isn't the everyday thing in LA, maybe other places, but not on the 405 in Los Angeles.
Right.
And I noticed it so much I took a picture of it because I felt like it must have a meaning. And Wendy, like I shortly after that, like literally when I got to work at that time, I asked her for a reading and she looked at me and she's like, I see a fly. And she was like in that mode of like melting or something. That's what it felt like. She was like melting into me or something. And I was like, at first I was like, yes. And then went, wait, what did you say? And then I just tripped out. And then she gets her little book out and starts talking about flies. And I would say that's like a true example of her kind of jumping into my skin for a minute.
Really trust yourself and learn to trust yourself. That's what it comes down to. The more you work on yourself, the more you understand yourself, the more you understand, oh, intuitively, when I connect with this or that, this means this to me, that means that to me. Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
That's what I tell them all the time. You have to
because you're amazing.
And and you have to work on yourself. It's nice to
work on yourself. Yeah.
Right. That's right. All right. I know a lot of people are excited about this. So please share with us the difference between angel cards and tarot cards and how do you use them? How do you go about it? You know, what's the best way to start? You know, that whole thing people would be really interested in.
Yeah. So basically, let me just say to start, I'm a child of the 70s. So
awesome. Yay. Me too. I mean, I was an infant, I think. No, actually, I was an infant at the beginning of the story. Okay, going
seriously,
on.
does it matter?
Wendy.
No.
So, Wendy, people are really, really into angel cards. I know there's a difference between tarot and angel cards or tarot. I like tarot because it just sounds fancier. I promised myself I wasn't going to go into an English accent and annoy the hell out of Wendy. You see, I almost went there because I'm
I
so
love
tempted
it.
because I've been doing it since I was like 10. But I don't know why. But anyway, people are very interested in angel cards, and I don't know if people understand the difference between angel
Yeah.
cards and tarot, and what's the difference and how do you use them?
Yeah. So for myself, basically, when I was growing up with tarot, there was Rider-Waite was absolutely number one. So even in my youth, I would get readings, and inevitably there were tarot card readings. And
Mm-hmm.
again, being empathic, everything you see, feel, hear, everything has an effect on you. So, for example, always, and this sounds crazy, but it's factual, every time someone gave me a reading, the death card would come up. And when you see the death card in the Rider-Waite deck, it literally made me feel so uncomfortable, so scared and uneasy that I thought, oh my gosh, death. Because I had a lot of loss in my life, I was used to that. And I thought, oh my gosh, who else is dying?
Right.
Things
Right.
were different during that time. There weren't the gift of all the cards that are available now. So I took death as opposed to now where I have an understanding that death can simply be cyclical. It's the next phase of our life. It's a new beginning, for example. It's death of the old and into the new, as
Right.
opposed to a physical death, even though I'd seen a lot of physical death in my life. So I found that fascinating to, as I took more and more workshops and classes, understanding what the death card meant. But regardless, in my youth, I found them very scary. Now, later on in life, suddenly angel cards started to come out. Oh my gosh, it was like literally a gift from the heavens, is what I felt, because
Yeah.
vibrationally, it was phenomenal.
You use angel cards now and in your
Yeah,
readings, and how do you use them? Like, how do they work that are different than a
with
tarot
tarot.
card? Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, the difference is vibrationally, I feel them exceptionally different. I mean, of
Hmm.
course, now we're so blessed that there are amazing decks out there that one
Hmm.
can resonate with. And pertaining to angel cards, I feel there's such a higher vibrational energy, and that's for me personally. So
Right.
again, I want everyone to understand it's what vibrates with you. So for me,
Right.
I felt safer with angel cards.
Okay.
The depiction of these cards was very loving, for example,
And
felt very safe.
do they tell you, like, do you ask specific questions like in tarot and they give you guidance, or or can someone just pull a card? Because I'm trying to see how we can help. Like, say someone wants to get angel cards, how would they begin with them to
Yeah,
use
so
them?
basically, yeah, when you choose to work with cards, and we can just generalize,
Okay.
cards can almost choose you as opposed to you choosing the cards. So again, listen to yourself, not because this person or that person says this is a fabulous deck. What vibrationally resonates with you? So,
Right.
when you look through the decks, and of course now we're blessed with, you can visually see what many decks online.
Right.
You can
Right.
get a feel of the decks. If that deck feels right for you, bam, good, go for it. And that's
Right.
what you want to do. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's
yeah,
a perfect explanation, and I think that's a perfect way to do it. and a perfect way to start. And I feel like people can like tell you all kinds of ways to do stuff, but you have to kind of work what's best, your way. Like I have known tons and tons of readers that work with cards, all kinds of cards, and they all have a different way. They have a different way they
And
go
it's
about
all
it, the way they
good.
start, right?
Yeah.
And I think for you, like you definitely get in tune because I've seen you do your work, and I know you kind of
Yeah.
need to feel your way
Yeah.
through everything, right?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think that's one thing that's important, babes. When it comes to, as you and I, when we do this work, which we
Right.
love,
Mm-hmm.
it's really important that the ego, and we all chose to be human, so it's all there,
Listen to her.
put that ego out. It is
Done.
100% not about you. It's about your client. It's what their needs are. It's tuning into that individual. So anything from that egoic space, anything from that mental plane, breathe it out, babes, and put it to the side.
What can people do like daily? What could you give people to like feel? I don't want to say tip. I hate that word. So forget tip. But what can you say to people that can like make them feel like, okay, this isn't half, because I feel like people act so reverent and like, oh my gosh, I'm just so lucky, an angel, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like what you said is so true. It's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
And so what can people do to kind of get in that mindset or connect to that understanding?
Yeah.
Just a
Fantastic
simple
question.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I would recommend when you start off your day, as soon as you become cognizant and mindful, before you even get out of bed, you can simply call upon the angelic realm and ask that they give you a clear sign and guidance that they're with you.
Right.
And then just be open to whatever sign that entails.
I wanted to let people know that she makes jewelry. I'm wearing one of her earrings right here. I didn't tell Wendy, but I lost the other earring.
I'll get you another one.
I always lose one. I have a bunch of earrings that are one. That's why that's how I ended up doing two. But she makes jewelry. Can you tell everybody that was the last thing I wanted to to shout out. What's the name of your jewelry company?
The Angels Rock.
Right.
The Angels do rock. Bam.
Angels rock.
The Angels rock because it's angels, obviously, and because I incorporate rocks.
Okay.
Because the importance is to empower others. So, for example, when it comes to, I'm just going to show you a couple of pieces here. Like remembering that feathers can be used as a symbol, angel wings.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh my
Wendy.
God, you're amazing. I love you always.
Coming online. Thank you so much. So are you. Thanks for sharing with us. And you guys can find Wendy, like you said. I'm going to, it will be popped up. It probably already popped up or be popped up here, where to find her information, and on Instagram and her website. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm doing a class. I just posted, and I posted it on here and on my Instagram. Coming on the 19th, I'm going to do a class on understanding the other side. I've kind of put together like all of the questions you guys have been asking me through DMs and on YouTube, Instagram, and through the podcast about this for so many years. I'm like, why don't I just do a class on it and you guys can ask questions? So that will be on the 19th. You can go to my website and sign up for that. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm still offering 50% off my readings during this really difficult time with the code PACE, PACE. Just go to daylevine.com. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Wendy. Remember, follow yourself, follow no one, listen to that inner voice, and I'll see you guys soon.